Hey everyone, welcome back to the Sunny Side. I'm Sunny, and this video right here is for everyone who has their South Node in Sagittarius and their North Node in Gemini. Once again, their North Node looks like an N in Gemini, and the South Node looks like a little cup or a U in Sagittarius. Everybody cool? Alright, South Node in Sagittarius, North Node in Gemini. Welcome back to the Sunny Side, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. My name's Sunny. For those who don't know, I am a professional astrologer, and I do write the horoscopes for some of the newspapers up here in Canada. And in this particular series of educational videos, or videos if you want to know more about your astrological placements, some of the placements in your sign, I have a bunch of writings from different astrological writers and different astrologers, and I like to read them to you guys and you know, give my 2 cents of the interpretation of what they're trying to say. Some of these guys are Vedic astrologers, some of them are Western astrologers, and I'll read them to you and I'll tell you what I think about it. But before we do that, please share the video. Please share the other videos on the channel. If you want to know more about this, please subscribe. You know, if you want to know more about your astrological sign or your astrological placements, please subscribe to the channel. Please share the videos. And, oh, we have a new subscriber. Please subscribe to the channel. Please share the video. And, you know, check out some of the other videos on the channel. There are lots and lots of astrological videos here on the channel. All right. And please subscribe and give you a thumbs up. All right, that's the action. Once again, I am a professional astrologer. If you want a personal reading, check it out. How to do that in the description box below. On top of all of that, I have a bunch of astrology and tarot workshops if you're interested in any of that. And it's listed right here. It's also in the description box. It's also on my website. And we always have certain specials going on right now. And right now, you can get your progress chart. For those who don't know, your chart progresses and changes over time. And that report is available right now as well. Just check out how to do that on in the description box. Now this here, I'm showing you guys right now, this is the Astroside.com. There's a link in the description box. This is our store here on the Sunny Side, or rather we're kind of sponsored by the Astroside.com. And this is where you go to get your super cool Sunny Side t-shirt. I'm showing you this one because I really like this one. I'm not wearing it though because you're not supposed to wear green on camera. Anyways, that's it right here. A whole bunch of astrology mugs, t-shirts, some meme t-shirts, some real badass hoodies. This is a cool one. All of these, where are the rest of there's a Sagittarius mug is right here. Anyways, if you're interested in that, if you'd like to help support the channel, that's probably the best way to do it. In addition to just donating to the channel in using PayPal in the description box below, you can head over to the astroside.com and check out some of our t-shirts and hoodies. There's lots of stuff here. They come in different colors, of course, but if you want to know more about that, just check out that stuff. All right, that's the action. Now, what's a node? Whoa, that's not a node, Sonny. Okay, all right, so check it out. This is what the nodes are in astrology. Imagine this guy is the planet Earth. Sonny, I want to be the Earth. Oh, look, I'm the Earth Mother. I'm Mother Gia. Okay, chill out, man. Here we go. So I'm the Sun. This guy's the Earth. This is the orbit around the Sun. All right, this is the orbital plane. If he was going like this would be the orbital plane. All right, let's make it easy. He's going like this. This guy is the Moon. The giraffe is the Moon. The Moon orbits the Earth as the Earth orbits the Sun. Can you guys do this and chew gum at the same time? Maybe. Maybe. All right. And where the Moon's orbit around the Earth intersects with the Earth's orbit around the Sun, right there, that's where the nodes are. Where the Moon's orbit crosses the Earth's orbit around the Sun, those are the nodes of the Moon. It's not really that big of a deal, and it's not really that complicated. Let's show you what it looks like in an astrological chart. So, all right, we're almost done. Only a couple more of these videos to shoot. I feel pretty good. Here we go. This is the South Node. It looks like a U, or imagine that it's a cup, because the whole deal. Okay, the whole deal with the South Node is South Node, bad. It's North Node, and this is the North Node. It looks like the letter N. Maybe. Depends how you write your letter ends. And it's not so weird, because if you imagine if this is the Earth, these are the nodes, and that's the moon's orbit around the Earth. Hey! Oh no! Global warming! Okay, whatever, man. Whatever. This is not art class. South node, north node, north node. Now, depending on the type of astrology you follow, some people say the south node is bad. They say it's your past life, stuff that's happened to you in a past life. They say it's your karma. And they say it's bad stuff that happens to you in your life. And the north node, some people say bad, some say, and they also say the south node is like Saturn. It's not really, but it's like Saturn energy, because they say it's karma and past life stuff, and Saturn is the planet of karma in Western astrology. In addition to that, they say south node bad, north node, some people say it's good, and other people say it's also bad. Oh, that sucks! But really, it can go either way. How it works is this is how it works. The south node, wherever the south node is in your chart, it's where you have too much energy. So whether you bring it in with you from a past life, or like some alien like pees on your foot and you get some kind of south node fungus, like whatever, astrology fungus. Can you imagine astrology fungus? All right, but whatever it is, it's too much of that energy, and it's too much of that energy, and so it'll bring down this part of your chart. It'll also, as a result of bringing down that part of your chart, will also bring down this part of your chart. The nodes work together. But if you can manage to balance off the south node, and the secret is to balance the south node with the energy of the north node. And if you balance that out, then your south node will be good and your north node will be good. But if you don't put active, conscious energy, like if you don't try and develop your north node or do stuff pertaining to your north node, the south node will bring you down naturally, unfortunately, in that particular area of the chart. Okay, everybody cool with that? So that's what it is. And as you read these astrological writings, you'll see that these guys are pretty hard on the south node people. Okay, and some of them can be pretty say really nice things about the north node. But the truth is, how can, like, what the hell? It's everyone has the south and north node in their chart at the same time. And the people we're talking about today have south node problems and good north node things at the same time. And that's the push and pull, or the imbalance that's within you. Now, having said all of that, other people here, remember, a lot of this stuff is Vedic, so they're going to be some like like Indian spiritual guys will be saying, this is your karma, this is your life lesson, this is your purpose in life. You may or may not believe any of that, but what they say is you enter into the life with problems from your past life, and it comes from the south node, and your job is to move towards spiritual enlightenment so that you can attain the state of a space butterfly motherfucker. So whatever it is, whatever you need to, you can ascend in your personal spiritual journey. You have to overcome the south node action by using and moving your life towards the north node action. But the truth is, there's too much south node at the expense of the north node, and that's what's going on with the nodes. Now, in this situation, it's in Sagittarius. So some Sagittarius is good. Sagittarius likes to get outside. Sagittarius likes to be free. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is the planet of optimism, expansion, and philosophy. And so Sagittarius is an optimistic sign. Sagittarius is also a straight shooting sign. They're a direct sign. They're a very fast sign. And that's what the deal is. They're a sharp sign, they're a fast sign, they're a very smart sign. They see the big picture, they're philosophical, they're like, all right, that's cool, and they like to do things. And they like to get out, which is all great. It's all great. And they like to make you laugh. Saggies are pretty cool. Now, which is all cool, unless you have too much Sagittarius energy. If there's too much Sagittarius energy, there's too much goofing around. There's too much their words are very pointed. They're direct and to the point. So if you're too direct and too much to the point, you can be blunt. You can, instead of being a nice piercing arrow, you're blunt. Thump. You're pushing people too hard. Too much Sagittarius doesn't care about anybody. Too much Sagittarius is overly philosophical. All right, whatever, fuck them, I'm not going that way anyways. Too much Sagittarius never goes home. They're always out. Too much Sagittarius doesn't wear any clothes, And so that's the action. Too much Sagittarius is too much. So it's too much in the... It's too much Sagittarius. The South Node in Sagittarius is too much. It's too philosophical. It's too understanding. It's too much of the big picture. It's not enough of the details. It's too, okay, I get it. It's okay. And they're too... So anyways, that's the deal with South Node in Sagittarius. Too much Saggy going on and not enough Gemini going on, not enough paying attention to the details, not enough asking questions, not enough studying the minute things, not enough asking people what's happening. Did I just say that twice? Not enough double checking the details. Sagittarius understands. They see the big picture at the expense of the details. And that's the gist between, in my take anyways, between the South Node in Sagittarius versus the North Node in Gemini. And the deal is, you got to kind of put it both together to make it work. All right, let's see what these guys say. And once again, if you want a personal reading, just check out how to do that in the description box below. Please subscribe to the channel. And let's check out these guys. George Mercury says, the dragon's head, and the dragon's head is the North Node. The dragon's head is in its exaltation in the sign of Gemini, and is therefore very powerful. All right. It indicates victory after much anxiety and trouble. Okay. It's a token of success and luck, which often comes only when everything seems lost. The friends who surround this native are reliable and will help him to succeed. The native has a noble mind and will always enable him to fight against the current, but faith and perseverance are also required. Sagittarius is a planet, one of the planets of is one of the signs of major spirituality. Jupiter is the planet of spirituality, and they're saying South Node bad. He's saying South Node bad, or Dragon's Tail bad, and he says again the native or this person has a noble mind, right? Because Gemini is a really smart sign, which will enable him to fight against the current. But faith, which is Sagittarius, and perseverance are also required. Courage is not wanting. This is a courageous sign. And this position makes the native good and straightforward. He will know how to gain the sympathy of people who will help him. He may therefore look straight ahead, for the dragon's head, or the North Node in Gemini, is always a sign of progress. Now, before I read the dragon's tail of the South Node in Sagittarius, remember that this person that we're talking about now has both of these at the same time. All right, so keep that in mind. The dragon's tail of the South Node in Sagittarius robs a native of some of the quietude upon which he might otherwise count. Frequently, overconfidence in himself will be detrimental. Too much Sagittarius, too much fire energy, too confident. Okay. Frequently, overconfidence in himself will be detrimental and cause him to undertake things before due considerations, so that when it's too late, he might regret what he's done. Countless difficulties will arise, but he will conquer them through exertion and courage, and by clear-sightedness and caution, not always thinking that everything he does is right. Perfection does not exist in this world. You guys got that? Did you guys catch that? So he's talking about too much Sagittarius cleansing itself with the positive aspects of Gemini. So the negative Sagittarius with the nodes will get cleansed through a little bit of Gemini action. I'll say it again. Overconfidence, right, will be detrimental, right? Anyways, countless difficulties will arrive, but he'll conquer them through exertion and courage, and by clear-sightedness and caution, not always thinking that everything he does is right. All right, Isabel Hickey says, the North Node in Gemini increases versatility, adaptability, and mental agility. Okay. All right, whatever. Benefits through relatives and friends. Benefits through relatives and friends because of an optimistic viewpoint towards life. This kind of attitude should be cultivated in this life. South Node in Sagittarius gives poor judgment and adds to the restless and rash tendencies that keep the individual from accomplishment. South Node in Sagittarius can become restless. Remember, the North Gemini is a scattered and frazzled sign. They're always doing stuff, and if Sagittarius gets messed up in the action, this is going to be an easily agitated person. Anyways, he has to learn to concentrate and focus forces and not go dashing off looking for other fields to conquer. Conquering, like charity, begins where the person is placed. All right, next. I don't know, guys. These last two guys, they're like obvious. They make sense. They make sense to me, but got to get into the flow of what's going on here. Martin Schulman says, here the individual receives an initiation to join society. Okay. His soul has come into this life with a past incarnation of wildness. Right. Sagittarius is one of the wild childs of the zodiac, obviously. Obviously. One of the wild child of the zodiac, you know. Okay, as a result, he's unaccustomed to appreciating the point of view of others, right? Saggis, straight shooters. The karmic continuation of a strong, self-righteous attitude makes it difficult for him to be a fair judge of his own actions. As such, his life is excessive. He is still attracted to the natural existence without formalities and will go far out of his way to avoid having any restrictions imposed on him. He's used to being a free spirit and desperately tries to retain his sense of liberty at all costs. Whether he's married or not, the sole memory of his bachelor-like attitude makes it impossible for others to get close to him. Believing that actions speak louder than words, he makes his present life a kaleidoscope of rushed activity. He always tries to do too many things at a time, spreading himself so thinly that he keeps losing sight of any central life theme. This is true. Imagine negative Sagittarius running all over the place. They can't focus. In past incarnations, he functioned on a great. It's not only can he not focus, he doesn't want to be tied down. He wants freedom at all costs, and he's and that just freedom from everything at all costs. If it's like overly stimulated. In past incarnations, he functioned on great reservoirs of nervous energies. Yet, for all his activities, he's not yet learned how to focus his attention in any one area. In this life, he's still seeking expediency, and finding himself forever the victim of shortcuts that have to be repeated. Unaccustomed to all the demands of society, he tries to shirk responsibility. I said this all the time. This sign can be very irresponsible. He feels that if he can just stay clear, he feels that if he can just clear away all the business at hand as quickly as possible, he will then experience the freedom that society is trying to take away from him. And so, most of his time is spent trying to free himself. What he does not realize is that each action creates an equal and opposite reaction. As a result, he's actually making himself more imprisoned than ever before. I don't know about that, but I do know that these guys like to have fun. They like to party naked. They like the techno music. They're always good for some glitter and glow sticks. Hey man, if you go to walk up to these guys in a party and go, hey, you got some more extra glow sticks? And they're like, yeah, player. So just keep that in mind. I know what parties you guys go to, but the ones I go to, you gotta need some glow sticks and glitter. Anyways, his nature is somewhat primitive. If he is selfish, it's done innocently. All right. If he steps on others' toes, it's because he's unaware that the toes are even there. Always, he seems to miss the obvious, blissfully ignorant of the immediate circumstances around him. When it comes to social graces, he is so inexperienced that he appears to be the proverbial bull in the china shop. Oh, that's a little mean. Saggis can be nice and social. Saggis are blurters, though. When they're speaking, if you have your Mercury in Sagittarius, I know this is the South Node, but if you have your Mercury in Sagittarius, you're going to be bloop, bloop, bloop. You're just going to blurt things out. You're going to have a sharp tongue and you're going to be a blurter. If you have Jupiter aspecting Mercury in Sagittarius, you're going to go bloop, bloop. You're going to have foot in the mouth disease. Anyways, in the current life, he's learning how to foot in the mouth disease is sure a lot better than dick in the mouth disease. I gotta tell you. Shut up, Sonny. Why would you say that? All right, sorry. Okay. All right, we go edit that one. All right. In the current life, he is learning how to mix with the society from which he is benefiting. Yet, still fearful of the reactions of people, he lives his life on the rim of the wheel, occasionally darting into the center of the hub, only to run back again. His past life experiences with people were lacking in the areas of cooperation, sociability, and tact. Now, he's striving to reach sophistication. He doesn't yet know how to see a clear reflection of himself, for he doesn't understand that there are two sides to the same coin. Through his Gemini North node, he will now undergo experiences which will force him to see both sides of every issue. You guys got that? Instead of just blind faith, blind optimism, not giving a shit about anything, through his Gemini North node, he's going to learn to see that maybe he should hold back a little bit. He's going to see consequences of his actions. He's going to see that, I really want to do that, but maybe I got to go check this out. So I don't see how he becomes less frazzled, because Gemini is a frazzled sign, but he's going to be more understanding of the situation, and will step, as a result, we hope that he will step on less toes as he bludgeons his way through life. Before he can understand why people seem not to listen to him, he must first put himself in their place. Ultimately, he will come to realize that all the negative qualities he's been attaching to others are things he does not understand in himself. All right, well, that's kind of like frou-frou. Sometimes he's a shouter in a library. Right. No matter how sophisticated he pretends to be, he has so much past life residue and crudeness in him that is bound to seep through the most inopportune moments. This embarrasses him so much that he becomes determined to polish himself by paying attention to his mannerisms, habits, and public behavior, and particularly his mode of speaking. Through his Gemini North node, he will spend most of his life's energy learning how to adapt at the art of communication. Right? He's moving from being a blunt speaker to a more affable kind of, get along with people kind of guy. All right, he now feels a need to educate himself so that he can establish an identity in society. At one time, in the current life, he will be faced with the conflict of whether to live in the city or the country. City being Gemini, country being Sagittarius. While his basic nature, for so many lifetimes, would feel more comfortable in a country setting, he can learn much by adapting himself to the new experiences of coping with city life. Through his Gemini North node, he must learn to diplomatically, right? He must learn diplomatically to respect the rights of others if he is to help preserve a society which in prior lives he thought unimportant, but in this life is necessary for his survival. All right, well, this guy's going on and on and on about Sagittarius South Node is shitty in mixed company, and he has to learn how to fit in with others. I don't really know that Sagittarius is that bad. Sagittarius is loud, or a South Node in Sagittarius. People with a lot of Sagittarian energy can be loud, but they're also a lot of fun. These guys can be the life of the party. Not that they're like Leo, the life of the party, or like Aries challenging people to do things, but, or like Cancer or Taurus taking care of everybody, or Libra, standing there and everybody wants to have sex with them. It's like Sagittarius is a little different. They want to make you laugh. They want everybody to have a good time. So I don't know that it's really as harsh as this guy is saying. I don't know. The Sagittarius can get along with others. They just, Sagittarius is a philosophical sign. They're an understanding, accepting sign. Okay. When his body cries, but at the same time, if you don't measure up, they'll tell you, point blank. While his body cries out for sports, nature, and the primitive life, his mind will eventually lead him towards a study of words and language and reflection of his self-expression, so that he starts to become a more humanistic part of the culture in which he lives. He's like the wild stallion, desperately trying to fight being tamed, and yet wondering what the experience must be like. In the midst of this seeming paradox, There's a paradox in every single description of the nodes. He is a messenger of the lower and higher minds to all who come in contact with him. His past incarnations brought him to a natural understanding of the universe. Now, his mission is not only for himself, but also to spread his understanding to the myriads of people that run through his life. Herein lies the mystical reason for his eternal restlessness. He has much to say and much ground to cover. All right, I don't know. That guy had some good points. There's a little bit of bullshit in there, but I don't think he didn't really talk. He didn't really bullshit. Just kind of fixated on something, and it's there's a lot more than that. Let's see what Mohanka Parker says. Previous incarnation for this person was spent in various philosophical and mystical pursuits. There we go. Philosophical and mystical, Sagittarius. A lot of freedom and independence was noticed in that life. Thus, this person has to learn to deal with people in this life. All right, whatever. These guys are saying similar things. Isolation becomes a rare quality in life, as he has to exchange his ideology with others and on a face-to-face basis. If he tries to isolate and withdraw from society, the circumstances force him to be with others. Considerable intellectual dissipation of knowledge is seen in this life, and communicative means are extremely significant for him. He seldom has a chance or opportunity to cultivate his emotional and material base. Thus, those elements are very significant in this life structure. Donna Van Toen says, you need to share your awarenesses in others. All right. But the Sagittarius South Node replies, yeah, but I want to stick around and explain things. Anyways, I don't like, she says that in all her writings. It's kind of a little weird. Anyway, it says, the problems for the South Node in Sagittarius are likely to include, all right, this is a little different. I think this is interesting. This axis between Gemini and Sagittarius is the axis of education. Philosophy, taking things on faith, which is Sagittarius, or understanding the big picture, versus Gemini, which is not exactly facts like Sagittarius, but it's gathering information. Gemini gathers information on a very, piece by piece kind of gathers information, whereas Sagittarius sort of understands the big picture, and they're like, okay, man, all right, it's more of a philosophical thing. You could look at it in a similar way as the juxtaposition between Virgo and Pisces, where Virgo is facts, hard facts, and Pisces, blind faith. So Virgo, hard facts. This is it. It's this. This is and stilo, and Pisces, faith. Okay, and so Gemini, it's communication, and it's finding things out, it's speaking, it's asking questions, it's curious. Gemini is curious. Sagittarius understands. It's a different kind of, it's similar to Virgo and Pisces, but a little different. Anyways, your problems are likely to include an obsession with learning, but no interest in using your knowledge in any practical way. Difficulty establishing lasting relationships leads to an overvaluation of books, classes, and other intellectual activities that provide indirect communication. Possible reasons for these problems include a need for long-term concentration on study, or some sort of cultural or ethnic or religious difference has interfered with the formation of relationships. Maybe a speech impediment has caused you to turn to books instead of people. Maybe a literary career, that it limits people's contact. Dependency on reading is an escape from a boring routine. Poor judgment about people has caused you to place your trust only in proven sources of information. A lack of concentration has led to communication problems and misunderstandings. Or that maybe you have a need to conquer an ingrained feeling of stupidity or inferiority. I didn't say that. I don't call people stupid. Okay. The Gemini North Node. All right. Good time now. Good time. Remember, it's the same person. The same person who has those problems in Sagittarius have good things happening to them at the same time. You're going to be like, how can we be bad at that and good at this? Isn't it the same thing? It is the same thing. But if you have too much South Node, it's going to bring your North Node down. If you have two, all right, that's how it works. So, and you raise your north node, you consciously raise your north node, and you consciously raise your south node. Gemini north node can be a good talker, but he or she is often a poor communicator. He or she is good at tossing out facts, lecturing, impressing others with long streams of beautiful words or technical jargon. But he or she quite often talks at others rather than with them. The Gemini North Node tends to quote books verbatim, drop names, quibble over semantics. He or she talks skillfully about facts and theories, but generally is at a loss when it comes to applying them or sharing his or her feelings about them. In fact, this person generally avoids sharing any facet of his or her personality beyond the intellectual side. And this is a shame, since the North Node in Gemini invariably holds great potential for perception. This is a highly perceptive, this is a highly psychic kind of part of the zodiac, by the way. So I didn't mention this here, did I? It's because I didn't think about it until right now. But if you want to watch, if you go back and watch my video on who are the most psychic signs, you'll see that this part of the zodiac is a remarkably intuitive sign, is a remarkably intuitive and psychic part of the zodiac. They're not frou-frou, I'm getting a hit, my spirit guide says, it's not that kind of psychic. Okay, there are different kinds of psychic. There are different types of intuitions, different ways to receive information. And so, if you're looking for you'd go look at Pisces, okay? But Gemini, Sagittarius, that axis there, there's a lot of psychic energy in there as well. Development of this potential brings a deepening of the intellect so that ideas can be used for the practical betterment of his day-to-day relationships and living conditions. Signs of an overdeveloped Sagittarius South Node are, okay, you guys ready? A tendency to flirt, flatter, and charm, but reveal nothing, and expectations that others will hinder his or her freedom. Big, that's big. So once again, a tendency to flirt, South Node and too much South Node in Sagittarius, tendency to flirt, flatter, and charm, and expectations that others will hinder their freedom. A tendency to ridicule others, being generally on his or her way to something, always in the process of doing something, only having a minute. At first instinct to take off when pressured. Oh, these guys hit the motherfucking boogie like it's nobody's goddamn business. Out! Peace! This is the #1 sign of peace, bitch. That's what the sign. You know, if someone says that to you, you're like, oh, I guess I just saw a Gemini. I just saw some kind of Sagittarius, you know. Mental note. But being generally on his or her way, okay. A tendency to promise more than he or she can deliver. A distrust of security and routine. These guys don't like the routine. They like the freedom and do stuff. They get bored easily, right? Being accosted by others, being accused by others of being unreliable. Oh my God, how many times did I say they're unreliable? They're irresponsible, okay? But feeling that it's others who are unreliable. Enormous faith in the published word and being uncomfortable with peers in general. All right, whatever. You can balance it out. They're not all that bad. North Node in Gemini, the North Node in Gemini dreams of a life of variety. It's like they don't want to be this guy doesn't want to be tied down. You don't marry this person. They don't want to be tied down. But unless you guys want to go on some great adventure together and constantly mix it up. Anyways, they dream of a life of variety. He or she wants to be seen as adaptable and a good conversationalist. He or she also wants to be thought of as an educated person. In reality, this is a person who transmutes emotions into interest. He or she is interested in spirituality, education, travel, and similar Sagittarius-ruled things, but in a passive, abstract way rather than in terms of experiencing and enriching the life. He or she may mix well with others, but only as long as he or she can assume the role of teacher. Right, South Node. Sagittarius is the teacher of the zodiac. Their teaching isn't necessarily a formal or professional role, but it permeates most interactions just the same. And in the course of assuming this role, much of the node in Gemini's enthusiasm for life is misused or wasted. Extremism of some sort may also mar conversational skills. It's not really. These guys are they blurt things out. Whatever, man. They're a fire sign. Fire signs, you know, It's, think of it like this. That's the negative side, or too much fire in a fire sign. You know, too much fire in Sagittarius. They got too much of their panties are too hot in the panties. They can't keep them on. They can't keep their pants on. They want to run out. They want to do something. They want to experience life. They want to have fun. But at this, you know, so that's what they want to do. They don't want to be tied down, and they don't really care what other people say. They don't care what other people think. They're not assholes. They just don't care. They want to do this. They don't want to wait. They want to do that, and that's it. And they need to, and that causes a whole bunch of fuckhead kind of motherfucker. That causes a whole bunch of problems. And as such, but they have this ability, whereas other people that have an abundance of Sagittarius do not have this ability. But someone with the South Node in Sagittarius has the ability to balance that out with the North Node in Gemini. Someone with the North Node in Gemini is a curious person. They are an intellectual person. This guy we're talking about is an intellectual. He just communicates his stuff poorly because he can be blunt. He has to calm things down somewhat. He has to understand that no, he's not being controlled. He's not limited by the facts. He's not limited by the details. When he learns that the details, when the everyday existence, that when the people around him, that the questions don't slow him down, but they help give him a solid foundation from which to propel himself and launch himself, then he's going to be successful. You know that all the time. I don't need to study. The guy who's got a problem with this is the guy who refuses to go to school and thinks that he can learn everything on the job. That's just not true. You know, the guy says, "Oh, experience is the best teacher." That's not true. That only teach you how to fuck up. You know, you're gonna practice fucking up, and so you're gonna learn by accident. Do you want to learn by accident? Or do you want to learn by like following, you know? Anyways, this guy has an ability to study his ass off if he's able to overcome his karmic limitations and start asking some questions, start respecting others, to hold off with the sharp tongue, to not be so loose in the pants, you know, not to be so loose in the zipper, to just chill his action out. Study. Sagittarius, a North Node in Sagittarius, a really positive aspect of Sagittarius. These guys study like crazy. These guys, North Node in Sagittarius, these guys are university professors. These guys are like brilliant, you know. And so, but the South Node in Sagittarius might say, "Fuck that, I don't give a shit." But now we have the North Node in Gemini. These guys are master communicators. A whole bunch of these guys here talked about writing and communication in the written words. North Node in Gemini, if the Sagittarius brain is scattered, write it down, motherfucker. You know, write a book. Articulate yourself. You know, express yourself through the written word. You know, that's one of the secrets to succeed with this astrological placement. If you're a blurter, if you're like, get to the point, then, you know, write it down and deal with it, you know, and that's the action. There's a lot of good in this. You know, all of the nodes, wherever they are in the chart, everyone has them. With all of them, it causes a little bit of problems. It's good and it's bad, and you just got to work through it like that. And that's the action, guys. As you can see, the missus is calling. I got to take the call in and check out the most beautiful girl in the world. All right. So here we go. And with that, I want to say, hold on. And with that, I want to say, hey, don't say anything. I'm recording right now. I got to kill the volume. Be cool. Be cool. Shh. And with that, I want to say, and with that, please subscribe to the channel. I hope you guys learned a little bit today. I hope everyone is having a super amazing day. With that, I got to go talk to the most beautiful girl in the world. So with that, I hope everybody learned a little bit of something. That's the South Node in Sagittarius, the North Node in Gemini. Please subscribe to the channel. Please share the video. Please donate lots of money. Please buy lots of stuff on our super cool store, theastroside.com. Everything on the Astro-Side was designed by this pretty lady right here, my wife, the super sexy SLC, sexy little crap. And that's the action, motherfuckers. I hope everybody has a super amazing day. And I gotta go play from TheSunnySide.net. I'm Sunny, wishing everyone the absolute best of a super beautiful day. And I'll see you guys soon.